Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
Help!
Here,
Oh,
take my hand.
come
on. You're gonna fall unless you take my hand.
No, give me your other hand.
Oh, my other hand isn't strong enough. You take my little hand.
No, get it away from me.
Take it. Take my hand.
After a big afternoon of shopping, there's nothing better than some Mexican food and a nice little drink. Come on down and enjoy a nice Mexican fiesta.
Guess what? We took everything you love about the Bloomin' Onion and created a menu you've never seen before.
Let me hear you say, Bloom, there it is. Bloom, there it is.
This bloomified menu starts at $13.99 and it's gonna blow your bloomin' mind.
From G.A. Henty, author of Sturdy and Strong and In the Hands of Cave Dwellers, comes this classic short story, White-Faced Dick, a tale of manhood and unlikely friendship. Published by Blackie & Son, it's accompanied by the maritime adventure, A Brush with the Chinese. This is a collection that's perfect for any fourth grader who's pure of mind and blood. White-Faced Dick and Another Story. A classic for the ages.
I am a hot little potato right now. How dare. I mean, is it not enough that I have this exclusive squishy Diaz Bros, what is this, Crimstone thing that I got from Arik? Is it too much to ask to get a bloody shell bean? How dare you, Mark? How dare you? He says, had to resend my address to Phil. That was supposed to be mine. I'm a has-been. I feel like it. I really do. I didn't get the brown one. And then the butter one, not banana. It's clearly butterbean. I mean, you guys completely missed the mark on that. Would have been great. That looked good. I wanted that one. No. If it's next week, if it's blue, I don't know about that. Make it a good color. I could have been. I really could. Could put it right here somewhere. Sit it here on top of this Hal salad lunchbox in front of my white-faced dick. But no. Anyway, beige, teal. Oh, teal. If they make a Lucent blue one and I don't win it, oh, they'll be hell to pay. I tell you what. But thank you nonetheless to the Diaz Bros for the raid. Always appreciated. I thought I'd just do another draw stream today because I looked on Twitter because I've got no one to promote today. It's usually if I do, we do it today, but I know it's a bit quiet out there. No one wants to really do anything this close to Christmas. It's like 10 days away, and I don't blame him. Mark says he can't believe he won. I can't believe it either. I didn't even show up in the damn thing. Now I understand why you all say it's rigged. It's a scandal. So I thought, yeah, just relax a little bit, do a little bit of drawing. I've got a fantastic double-page spread from your friend and mine, Rod Looper. We're gonna check that out. Before we do any of that, it is Mr. Reese right here, coming in, dropping first like an old pro. That is, I do believe, 4 for the year. It is indeed. Move that over there. There it is. Putting him up there. We have Ellie says, yes, you are. I don't know what that was in response to. Something I probably said in Phil's, but Jim is best. He's not here, but he just stopped by to say hi. Hi, Jim. Tassus Jones holding it out for the Rumble gang. I love we can see the Rumblers. More Lucent is a good thing, he says. Excellent, excellent. The word fractured, Raiden says, is slightly misaligned on the thumbnail on the left. You can't unsee that now. It has fractured your mind. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it even more misaligned now. It just got 20% more to the left. Felix has the link master in the house. What's up, Felix? I wonder if Felix has posted any links yet. Not as yet. I'm ready to pin. I'm here and I'm ready to pin. Okay, Manifesto's here. Maromi, what's the color status? The color status? The coloring of the trading cards? The coloring of Fractured Mind? It's all progressing. Working on it every day. There he is. Look at Felix. You can follow me on globalcomics.com. You can. Shout out to the Zaid boys. He's fat. He's fat. All right, all right. What's up, Gordon? Zeta Raiders. I like that. Finity, what's up? We got Dale A. Big Blackie Bean. Now, that would be something to get. They're not going to give that away. Can you imagine them shipping that out to Australia? That would be glorious. All right, what's Narc saying? Loser, you're a loser. Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should, because you're dirt. You make me sick. You big baby. A baby want a bottle. A big bottle. What do you... Tell us what you really think. Are you talking about Arcane or are you talking about Shell Bean? Arcane was beaten by Fallout for best adapted video game show. I didn't watch Fallout. I've never played Fallout, but that shouldn't really stop me because I never played League of Legends either. But I'm not surprised. That's real quality snark right there. I know that you need to carve that into stone. We don't want to forget that. Why did Bancroft narrate the white-faced dick? Why not? It's a classic. My edition is falling apart. I've read it too much. Look at it. It's the brush with the Chinese, the tale of woe and racism. I just like to spread things out there. We have, who else do we have in here? We got the winner himself, Mark's Music Obsession. Congratulations, Mark. You deserve it, I suppose. Finity, the Wimey Limey. I like that name. Cranberry, what's up? Phil is here. What's up, Phil? Yeah, teal. Ellie wants teal. Yeah, Lucent Blue would be good. What's up, Bionic Bra? I just subbed to Bionic Bra's channel. They're doing a great show over there. Go and sub if Felix probably has the link somewhere. Can't remember the name of your channel, but they talk about indie books. Believe it or not, they were chatting about Frog G yesterday. You bastard! I'll do it. More misaligned. Going to really trigger our OCD. Yeah, but it's fun. What's up, K-pop? And Fallout 3 was my game, says Wimey, not whiny. Wimey. I didn't need to read. Although I have been reading a lot. What's up, Rick? Yeah, I've been reading. I read for the first time ever Hellboy yesterday. I read the first 4 issues. It was fantastic. It was really good. I'm like, oh, That's probably why it's super famous. This was like, this guy's really good. He should turn professional. That was back when it was Byrne and is it Mignola or Mignola? Mignola? I don't know. Mignola. Damn, I love that art though. Yeah, I haven't really. I mean, I just sort of, because that came out in what, 93? I was just reading Spider-Man Ghost Rider at that point. I wasn't really. Mignola. Yeah, that sounds right. Cranberry says, I like Lobster Johnson more. Is Lobster Johnson part of that universe, or is that something different? Either way, I'll put it down. I'll put it down on the old list. God, this list is getting very long. I'm not going to have any shortage of content, I can tell you what. Okay, Cranberry Land just says, it's Mig Ula. It's in the past. All right, cool. Yeah. I saw Rainy said she loves all the BPRD stuff. A lot of people have said that. But damn, I love that art. It's so crisp. It's timeless. It really is timeless. I know he's sort of changed a little bit recently. Yeah, I'm only 4 issues in, so I don't know anything. I mean, I just at the end of that 4th issue, you just really have met Rasputin, but you don't even know his name yet. He's just the wizard at that point. So I look forward to it. I'm going to do more. Obviously, I'm going to read more. I'm going to go back. I have read some of the classics, the classic indie books. I'll keep reading some of the good new ones. And once I build it all up enough, I'll start chatting about some of our own books. Yes, I have Atomic Robo on the list. That was shared by Stat. He recommended Atomic Robo, so I'll definitely go out and check that out. But all the butchering makes me want to shred my Mignola artwork. The butchering? What butchering? I don't know what you're talking about, Maromi. Remember, I have to be educated. I know nothing. What do you think of this? Bam! Big double pager. Rod has this as a double page, and it's glorious. I've seen it. Make sure to read Why the Last Man. Oh, I forgot about that one. Yes, I've heard fantastic things. I mean, it is good. I just have to remember, like, this is a very long-term project I'm on here. So, you know, in bits and pieces. Why the Last Man is depressing. It's a bit like that one where they can't have any kids, isn't it? That movie. East of West. I read East of West. It's so long ago. East of West was good. I'll put in East of West. Why not? I don't know how much of East of West I read. Whoa! Amazing artwork by Rod. This is probably my favorite page he did in the whole book, but there's still a couple of pages left to come. So I don't know. We might get another one, but this one's hard to top. Children of Men. Yeah, that's the one. I know, kind of, sort of, not really. Everyone, that short I did on Void Rivals, everyone says, oh, so this is Enemy Mine. I'm like, kind of. I get it. I get why you say that, because in a short, you can only really give a very quick overview, rundown. You can't get into the nitty gritty. And so people just relate it to what they know. So they see the From shot and they said, oh, so this is Silent Hill, yeah? No, not really. The Void Rivals. Oh, this is Enemy Mine. I mean, similar. Nick Axe. Speaking of amazing artists, look who's in the chat here. Nick Axe. What's going down, chat? I am taking it easy today. And I'm glad you're here with me to take it easy as well. I'm going to just be flatting and chatting as I like to do. As I'm wont to do. I like to say that. and hanging with y'all. You guys can bring up whatever you want to talk about in the chat. I'll do my best to respond to it. We can talk indies. We can talk Lucent. We can talk, I don't know. We can talk summer in Australia. It's getting hot down here. Have I ever read DMZ about a future US civil war? No, I have not read that. I've never even heard of that one. What I'm trying to do with the shorts is I'm trying to essentially like talk about, I'm going to start big because I've noticed, you know, some of these books, if they're not really super well known, they don't get much traction. They get a little bit, like, I don't know, 1,000 views or something, which is still good. But, you know, with a short, you're really hoping for 50,000 views or something over the long run. And so I'm going to start with some things that already have existing fan bases. And try and cultivate that audience that really, you know, is into this sort of stuff. Indie books, good stories, good art, good stuff. What's up, Jake Martin? It's good to see Jake. Philip V's here. Gordon gave Jake a cookie. That hand looks hideous, says Cranberry. Nothing close to a ginger root in appearance. I don't know. Rod, especially at a distance, he can get kind of loose, which is good. He keeps it, you know, he doesn't get, now his artwork is never stiff, which is something that I struggle with. So I'm always thankful for that. I'm trying to kind of pull these colors from existing things, but I don't know exactly. We're just dropping them in here. Whoa, wrong thing. There we go. I'm using the Bancroft method, Jake. I'm not going to bother myself with the new fandangled techniques that all the kids are using. Tried and true, trusted, you know. It's just better that way for me. It's too late for me. So, you tried, Jake, and I appreciate it. Old reliable. Stiff Bancroft, yes. For some, stiffness is a problem. For others, they wish. I wish they could get it as stiff as I can. But alas, it's not on the cards. We all have to work with what we've got. All right, what color are these dogs? I guess it's sort of brownish. I don't want to put too much brown in here. Well, I can change it any time. I can do what I want. I know Jake is coloring at the moment too, suffering through that ordeal. He's being silly and hiring a flatter though. I mean, crazy. Craziness. But as he admitted, he doesn't quite have the fingering technique, as he put it. I didn't. That's his words. That I do. That's all right. A few do. I wonder where Mo is today. No Mo today. He's usually here on a Friday. Jake, wouldn't it be amazing if Mo got a membership today? Jake just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much, Jake. Tanner the Pan Man, Sketchosaurus, 990, whatever that is, our old friend, Lawrence with an @ and Evie Blonde, all gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much. I'm so glad that all these people that we know and love and recognize all able to take advantage of all the benefits in the chat here. Thank you, Jake.
You little ripper!
Bancross fingering is top tier, says Jake. You've seen it in action. Spare no expense. Man, look at all this stuff. Look at all these little things. See, I couldn't pay a colorist to do all this. They'd be like, get stuffed. I'm not doing all these little bits and pieces because I would demand that they do. Like, I want all of them different colors. I don't want you skimping on the finer details. Because it's the details that matter. You know, Rini did that short that went gangbusters last week, where she was talking about detail. And even if you don't stop and actually look at every single detail like an artist, but you do take it in with your eyes. And you notice it when it's not there. That's the important thing. Oh my God, Maromi as well. Thank you, Maromi. Thank you. We've got Ethan's bestie come back. What's up? He says, Hale, not first. That's all right. You don't have to be first, as long as you're here. Croy Beck, welcome. And Maromi gifting 5 memberships.
Well, cheers, biggies.
We get here. We got Mario, Aries, Bebop Beats, and John Snowden. John Melich as well. Welcome to the fold. Thank you very much, Maromi. You guys who are gifting memberships right now are helping me to make this very expensive endeavor, making a comic book when you're not the artist. Hang on, let me see what this is. Okay, that's just his butt. We don't need to lock that out. That's dog butt. Dog crack. He's very meticulous, our Rod. Yeah, you guys make this possible. Now, is that an ear or is that, what is that? I think that's an ear. Yeah, it looks like an ear. I thought it might just be something turning, but I'll make that an ear. It's funny when you're coloring something that someone else drew. You have to sort of guess sometimes. I think that's right. The Don. What's up, Don? Maromi says there's a reason why Brave has a built-in YouTube Shorts blocker. Why would you want to do that? It's craziness. All right, maybe I'll start doing these crates. It's David L. He's trolling EVS with the name. Right. Ethan's bestie as. I see. As in Hills versus Babyface. I get it. Matthew, do I interview people? I used to. I sometimes do when they have something to promote, but I'm kind of pulling a little bit back from that. You know, sort of, I've done that. I tell you what it is now. The streams for me now are just a way for me to hang out with, you know, the guys who are already here, backers of the Lucent, followers of the channel. I will get, you know, people on, we'll launch books, we'll promote some books. But whereas I used to have people on all the time and we would, you know, we'd do interviews and stuff. I've done over 1,000 streams now, probably close to 1,100. And you've got to do kind of what you like doing. Matthew's got his book, The Night Slayers, on Fund My Comic. Yeah, I spent when did I start? So when I started this channel, it was mostly videos, some animation, stuff like that, some art stuff. That was really it. And then when I launched my book, you know, everyone streams, so I thought, well, okay, I better turn a stream on. The day right after it launched, I went on to another channel to launch it, and the day it launched, after that was finished, I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll start up my own stream. You know, turn it on. No one showed up for a while, but then eventually, who showed up? Like Jay Dollar showed up. I think Felix might have even been there. Mo was probably there. Junk was there. Anyway, so just started doing that for a while, and then, you know, when you start doing that, people, they want to come on and hang out, and so we did that. So I did that that was in 2019. And I think I streamed for a long time. I streamed about six nights a week for a long time, maybe a couple of years. And then I thought, okay, I need to cut back a little bit. And I think the least I've done is 3 nights a week. At the moment, I'm about 4 or 5. But yeah, a lot of talking about, you know, to up and coming indie guys and that sort of stuff. At the moment, I'm really sort of focused on the more established indie stuff, because I just want to read stuff that already exists, and I've missed out on a lot being so focused on crowdfunding, because it was the crowdfunding stuff in my own book that got me back into comics, and, you know, watching your boy Zach and all that sort of stuff. So I've just been so focused on that for so long now. I really feel like I've missed out on a lot of good stuff. So I want to just go back and catch up on all that. So it's not like I'm turning away from the creator and stuff, but I just want to sort of focus on that, build a channel around that, and then see where we can go from there. Because my thought is, if people are interested in comics that aren't Marvel and DC or manga, they'll probably more open than everyone else to, you know, really kind of real indie, you know, small time stuff like we're doing. That's the hope anyway. I know all you guys are, but how do we find more guys like you? That's the question. And I don't think you can really do that just by streaming and chatting with other indie guys all the time. It's sort of a bit limiting. David L, hey, when you think you're going to launch Fractured Mind? June 2025. We're doing it. It's got a new page from Rod yesterday. I saw he's working on the cover. I'm going to do a cover. He's going to do a cover. That's going to be it, I think. I believe. The trading cards will come out before all that, obviously, in the new year. Just a little something to wet the whistle while we wait. Jake says, the first stream I ever watched was Robin Bancroft finding places in Australia with hilarious names. I didn't even know that was the norm, and now I'm into cock. Excellent. That was a fun stream. But that must have been the Australia Day stream, I imagine. I do look forward to that. I'm going to do Australian classics in terms of music, like a trivia this time. And I think a lot of people don't realize that music they know is Australian. I'll try and make a quiz around that. It should be fun. Do you mean Long Rod Silver? The Rod Looper? I guess I do. If that's what you mean. Is that what you mean? Bancroft, you call us all Seppos. That's lame. I don't think I ever did that. Santa Cocksmoker Legend. No, that doesn't sound like something I would do. It's not really my speed. What is this? A lot of this stuff gets sort of cut off, so I don't know how much gets cropped out in the page. So, are you excited to draw comics under the rule of our new alien overlords? Well, I for one welcome our new alien overlords, and yeah, with my position here with the channel, I feel like I'm in prime position to herd the masses into the work and the sugar caves. Sure. It's pretty crazy stuff. I was hanging out with Jake and Camel, and we would Rini, we were chatting about all this alien stuff and how it's all pretty nuts, and no one really knows anything, and everything's contradictory, and we were all like, man, I wish it is aliens. That would be crazy. It's probably not, but I wish it was, you know. It'd be cool. But, Nick says, I think the pivot could be interesting. I have some similar ideas. The challenge is how to reframe indie comics in a way that gets people's attention. Yeah. Well, someone in a on my video where I talked about how, you know, the problem a lot of indie comics have is there's, you know, not that many people who are just out there looking for them. That isn't to say there aren't people who love good stories. When a story is known to be good, people do gravitate towards them, like The Walking Dead, like Hellboy, Preacher. You know, there is a bunch that did kind of get real famous. But I understand a lot of the channels that talk comics talk Marvel and DC comics. I understand that because, yeah, they get really big views, but it kind of leaves a bit of a hole in the scene for, you know, non-big two books. So hopefully that scene is big enough to sustain, you know, a decent sized channel with an audience like that. It's been encouraging so far. You know, the Transformers video got 13,000. A couple of others got, like, the Ghost Machine, what is it? The big game Mark Miller stuff. The Ghost Machine hasn't been that good yet, but people rave about Ghost Machine, so maybe it just needs some more marketing. I don't know. The Mark Miller stuff got pretty good numbers. Yeah, we'll see. Bebop Beats just got randomly gifted a membership. I don't think I've watched you in my entire life, but I'm definitely going to check you out. Well, thank you for being here. Yeah, we will. We have a joke here because, you know, we haven't seen most of the people that get gifted memberships. We don't see them in the chat. But that's excellent. Look, YouTube doing its thing. Thank you for, I don't know how you first got onto the channel. You might have watched a short somewhere and subscribed or something, or watched something, or I don't know. Anyway, mostly talk indie comics. I make my own comic called The Lucent. I'm working on it right now, and we hang out, and it's pretty chill. So if that's your speed, welcome. And thanks for being here. And thank you to, it was either Jake or Moromi who gifted that membership. There's always money in TMNT. TMNT is another one. Yes, Jake, I have read Preacher, but I don't know. I can't remember how much. I read that a long time ago, like maybe 10 years ago. Oh, you did the Transformers video. Oh, there you go. That's probably it. I did a Transformers short, and I will be doing more. I haven't gone back to read the second issue yet, but I'm kind of like spacing it out. because my plan is to read a lot more kind of bigger indies, popular indies and stuff like that, and just sort of try and find guys, I don't know if that's you, but anyway, people who are interested in this sort of stuff. Because a lot of us are making comics, a lot of us are reading indie books. I'm not super interested anymore, even though that's where I kind of got into it, in the Marvel and DC superhero stuff. It's just not my bag anymore. I'm kind of burnt out on it all. But I just started reading Hellboy yesterday, and it's friggin' fantastic. The Transformers one, I was like, oh, I don't know, I'm not really big into Transformers, but I was so pleasantly surprised. I was like, damn, this is actually really good. I want to get my son into that, actually, because I think he would really get a kick out of it. I'm just looking through my other pages. All right, just for a bit of color reference. What's up, Sumo? Without Daniel Warren Johnson drawing Transformers, not really worth it. He does what, six issues, I think I heard. Yeah, his stuff is pretty spectacular. It's very appropriate for that story. And I learned after making that short that he's the one who does all those really cool sound effects as well. And yeah, that just really elevates it. It fit the story and everything. It was just fun. But also, I think it's Mike Spicer on the colors. They add to it a lot as well. I don't want to forget him. Gary says, I started reading East of West after the Cock Trivia show. Haven't had time to get very far into it. Yeah, it's a lot of it, I think. I really don't remember how far I got into it either. I think just what happens is I start getting busy and I just, I move on. But if I'm doing it for the channel, that will motivate me to actually read this stuff. And I want to know, I want to know things, because I already don't know so much. Everyone's always talking all this stuff, and I was like, I don't know what that is, and I don't like that. And plus, it's just good, if you're making comics, you're in the scene, you're writing, you're doing art. It's good to see what like the best guys are doing. It's just a good thing in and of itself, even without talking about making content and building a channel and building an audience and stuff. So Jake says East of West is wonderful. I remember really enjoying it. Yeah. It has those, or at least when I checked it, I don't know if it's got like, if it's changed, but it had those really kind of interesting covers. They were sort of graphic designy, where it was like a flat color just in half. I remember that was thinking that's a bold choice, because it didn't strike me as a great cover, but walking around a shop, it really caught my eye. It made me stop and pick it up and go, oh, what's that? So I guess it did its job. What's up, Sven? Sven in the house. Or it says, hey, Michael, the world is insane. How are you doing? Well, I'm doing fine, because I'm just watching from the safety of my Australian vantage point. If the aliens or the US government or Space Force or what's the new theory now? The Department of Energy, that I like. I like the idea that, someone behind all the big crazy stuff would just be like, some secret arm of some otherwise mundane sounding government branch. So if everything all kicks off, I think I'll be pretty safe down here in Melbourne. No one really cares about us. There's not that many of us. I read a book called The Passage. There's The Passage and the 12. It was really good at the start. It kind of fell off. They were quite long, but in that series, it's sort of like zombie, vampire, post-apocalyptic weird things. And in it, Australia is the only place where civilization continued properly. So I like that. Did I build a safe pillow fort? Did I build a safe pillow fort to safe protect? And Sven said, yeah, it's people under the oceans, like an ancient human race that, you know, millennia ago retreated to the oceans after the great flood and continued their advancing technologies unbeknownst to us. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Every time they learn more about human history, and not just sort of, I'm talking about like what we consider history, but the history of hominids, you know, Homo sapien, Homo erectus, all that sort of stuff. It just keeps getting older and older and more mysterious. And they're like, oh, look, we got to rewrite the history books again. Maybe that's about to happen in a big way. Namor's army is about to invade, says Sven. We all going to need to learn to breathe underwater. It started off as a bit of a joke, you know, like after everything that's been going on politically around the world, wars and, you know, upsets and all this sort of stuff, kind of the ending of wokeness and all that stuff. You know, so people would just, you know, the pandemic. It's like, oh, now this, okay, you know, everyone's so jaded, and no one believes anything, and they probably shouldn't now. I mean, with AI, oh, and quantum computing, it's see how it's all happening. AI, quantum computing, friggin', yeah, it's all kicking off. It feels like it's accelerating. We out of here, Jake. Have a good one. Thank you for the gifted memberships, my friend. Your generosity is incredible. I can't thank you enough. Like First Nation claiming any humans found in the Americas is part of their tribe. It's old tribes. Yeah, they find like the people who built mounds in across the US. It's like thousands of years old. Thousands and thousands. I love that stuff. I try and put as much as that stuff as I can, like within reason, into the Lucent as I learn it. It's just so much fun. Sven says quantum PC is BS. Yeah, I read that there's like at least for how they're doing it now, there's like a pretty severe limitation. Just like with quantum, the sort of the nature of what they're doing, that you know when you look at anything, it changes the state, and something about the more you add, the less reliable the probability that the equation is. I don't know. I mean, I'm not super up with it, but I'm not super worried about it. But the fact that they're spending gazillions amount of money on it and developing it and everything doesn't mean it's not they're gonna figure something out eventually. Have a great weekend, says David and chat. Have a great night, everyone. And you too, David. Thank you very much for popping in. As always, great to see you, my friend. This guy's got a sword. I like how Rod's just like. And the script is okay. So these guys are hanging out at a dog fight, and they get interrupted, and then eventually, a fight breaks out. We've got axes and this chain thing with a thing and everything, but it's all right because it's supposed to be like this. You'll see it when you start reading it, that it's sort of it's all happening inside a dream. So it is actually a reflection of something else. So it can be pretty wacky and zany. What's up, Rocky? He says zoom in, enhance. Well, I'll turn off so you can see this a bit better. That's Rod Looper's line art. So here's the artist I'm hiring to do my next comic called The Lucent Fractured Mind, which is a prequel to the main story. And this is a rad double page spread that he's got here. If you like chatting comics and watching art get made and the dulcet tones of a relaxed gentleman, go check out Rocky's channel. I'm sure someone will have the link. I like hanging out there. It's just very chill. I like chill stuff. Always have. And Rocky puts on a chill show. That pirate has a ball cap. Where's that? Is that here? This guy's got an axe. I love it. Always bring an axe to a dog fight. You never know what's going to go down and when you might need to protect yourself. Rocky says, I'm going to change my show to be called The Dulcet Tones. To the right. This guy? No, that's not a skull cap. This guy's got like one of those weird floppy beanies. Other than the threats and mouth-frothing arguments about Kitty Pryde and X-Men, I've never seen him frothing at the mouth. Does he not like Kitty Pryde? Is that a thing? I haven't heard this. Rocky actually still cares about, mainstream comics and everything. I don't have that kind of willpower. But he's also a DC guy, so we just don't understand each other sometimes. I've never gotten into DC comics. This is going to take forever to flat this page. This is crazy. Love it when I stuff up. Oh, no, I was, says Cranberry. I was one frothing at mouth like a madman. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, it didn't sound like Rocky. He's like Eric Kennedy. Very soft-spoken, gentlemanly. Super Baby was great, says Sven. What's Super Baby? Is that a Superman thing? I have no idea. Ah, that wasn't correct. Absolute Batman isn't Batman. It's just a guy wearing a Batman suit. No original character payouts at DC. That's Moromi. So it's all a copyright grift, you think? The Absolute series? Rocky was checking out Absolute Superman today. It looked interesting. Not really my speed, but, you know, well, I'm not going to judge people for their tastes. The Batman book actually did look really good. The noir one he was looking at, that was pretty cool. I liked the art in that one. I would actually check that out if I, you know, wasn't doing other things. It's Superman as a baby. Is it really good? Are you yanking my chain, or is it actually well done? Because I mean, I can see that actually could be well done if you had the right approach to it. Crypto the Super Dog, Super Girl, Super Boy. I read them when I was 3. Awesome. That's Sven. Oh, they're very popular. I do have a bunch of old Superman Australian reprints. They're really cool. Like, just, you know, as Golden Age books. They're Golden Age reprints from the 40s and 50s. But yeah, it's not really my thing. Philip says, I've completely checked out from the big two for a while now. I'm the same. I think the last thing I grabbed was it was good. It was a Punisher series where he was in, they updated it where he was in, no, he was always in, he was in Vietnam, wasn't he? Yeah, I think he was. Sven says Super Baby was perfect for a little kid, highest quality, all of them. Supergirl was a great big sister. That's cool. Yeah, like I said, you do it right, I think that could really work. That's good. All right. Ah, I see now. Okay. Yes, I've got the dogs over here. Okay, so he'll be that color. And then this dog will be this color. A lot of brown happening at the moment, but don't worry, I'm gonna tie it all together. It's not all gonna be brown. This is just the local colors. I may have underestimated how long this would take me. I'll probably get all the basic shapes done. There's a lot going on this page. (1972) version of Supergirl was the best version. Is that the movie? If you're talking about the movie, I loved that movie when I was a kid. I did used to watch that quite a lot. You know, but now I think about it, I don't even know really what happens. I remember she went into a cave at one point. That's really all I remember. I remember she was very pretty. Even when I was a kid, I could see that. Movie is 84. It's looking great. says Cranberry. I mean, this is just the start. Essentially, I just block in the shapes first, the basic shapes, and then I kind of cut into them. It's going to take a while. Gonna take a long while. The comics. Supergirl came out in the 80s. Yeah. Actually makes a lot more sense. 72, the movie would have been very old by the time I watched it, if that was the case. The movie is not about Supergirl, really. Helen Slater was perfect, but barely featured. Like I said, I don't even really remember it. I just remember I watched it a lot, but you know, my son likes anything. You put anything in front of him, he's like, "Oh, that was the best movie ever." You know, he's 7, even if it's terrible. You know, that's what it's like when you're that age. Everything is the best thing ever. But when I got into comics in I'm going to say either 91 or 92, I had friends who were reading Batman books, and compared to my Spider-Man books, I mean, I just remembered them being so dark and weird, just weird. You know, the Marvel ones at that time were super commercial and designed for 11 and 12-year-olds. You know, it was just like everything you could want. I've still got those books, by the way, that I bought off the newsstand. And the colors pop. They're so bright. It's so fun. Everything's really bright and clean and colorful. And Spider-Man's just jumping around, and then, you know, someone will fly in and they'll have a little fight, and then they'll team up, and then more people will come in. It's all just like that. And at the end of the day, you know, he'll go up, he'll be beat up, and he goes back to Mary Jane, and they get it on. This is like the greatest thing I've ever seen when I was 11, 12 years old. It's just like perfect. And then I went over to a family friend's house, and he's a bit older than me. He was probably 16, 17. He was reading Batman, and I get these Batman books. Dark, and all the it was a completely different palette. All the colors were very muted, and the artwork was dark, and it was weirder. It was much more artistic. It was actually much more the kind of thing that I would be interested in now as an adult than a kid. So yeah, I don't know if that was just like a period they were going through or whatever, but it just wasn't my thing. Did you own the issue of Amazing Spider-Man where he and Brock are in their underwear on the beach and the symbiote stuck to both of them? That was massively gay. I probably do. Yeah, because I have that whole. That's the if it's the run that surrounded 300, I've got that whole thing, so I probably do. But yeah, there was, you know. I'm not saying there's no homoeroticism in superhero comics. But you know, we just had come from a very bright, overly toonish Batman prior. Batman titles were flagging prior to that stage, Bancroft. Well, there you go. That explains it. Yeah, I imagine, you know, a lot of things were changing at that period of time. A lot of the companies were dealing with, you know, new changes and stuff to the scene. It wasn't long after that that they started disappearing from the newsstand, and now they're having to court older collector audiences. Like the collector boom kicked off like right in a big way right when I got into it. And yeah. I remember trying to get an issue of Spawn 1 because I didn't know what Spawn was. I found it at number 2. And I just wanted to get it because I wanted to read it. But, you know, you go to a store and they're like, it's $25. And they had hundreds of copies. You know, and like, no, but it's $25 because it's issue 1 that's so popular. All right, what color make this guy? Put in a different color. How about that? Philip says, watch it, Bancroft, not safe for work. No, not safe for work. What are we talking about? Oh, watch what I'm saying? I mind my P's and Q's, mostly, somewhat, partly. When comic prices, this is Morombi, when comic prices went over $1 and went much more adult with Image, it left a lot of kids behind. For me, they were $1.30, but I don't know what the exchange rate was back then, but I mean, it's about the same. And over a month, so all the new comics came out monthly, and over a month, I would walk home instead of catching the bus and just save, you know, however much that was. I think it was like $1.20, $1.40 a day. So I could get almost 30 comics, I think, at the end of the month. I'd walk into the news agency with all my coins that my mother would give me throughout the month that I'd saved up, and yeah, just buy whatever looked good. I had the ones that I was reading that I liked, which was all the Spider-Man titles and Ghost Rider titles, and then just whatever else looked cool. Like, you know, Spawn came in, Punisher, whatever. And that was what I did for years. But yeah, they started, I think they got up to like $2.70 or something like that. And yeah, it's like now it's less than half the amount. And then I remember they also brought in all the special editions and stuff, the hologram covers and everything. They were more expensive. When the whole bankruptcy thing happened, that was a big, you know, I think that was the time I was just like, oh. Also, as well, I think with the Spider-Man clone saga stuff, I was like, I think it's time I move on to more fruitful endeavors like rollerblading, you know? It was around that time, mid-90s, I think, from memory. Bancroft thought he was saving time hiring another artist, but then he realized he had to color. Well, originally I was going to hire a colorist, but then I thought I want to tie it in somehow. And, you know, not tooting my own horn, but no one really colors like I do. And I'm not saying like, oh, I'm just that amazing. I was like, no one really does what, like, literally, because it's like I sort of came up with it myself, the way I do the colors. I think every, you know, most colorists have their own look or anything, but it's quite distinctive to the series now. So I think if it looked too different, it might be a really hard to sell essentially. And plus, I don't have any money. Yeah, I got to pay Rod to draw these things. Now I got to pay someone else to color them. What am I made of money? Cranberry says, I liked a lot of Spider-Man, the Clone Saga. Ben Riley is one of my favorite characters. I wasn't feeling it. I stuck through it for a while. And, you know, even well before then, they were really pushing it for like kids like me who were, you know, scrounging and saving for pennies to buy comics. And they would go like, okay, we're going to do a big crossover event now. And so you want to buy this book and that book and all these things, like, and you're reading your comic and you're like, oh, that happened in whatever Avengers or whatever. It's always seemed to be West Coast Avengers. I don't know why. They wanted me to buy West Coast Avengers, which I had zero interest in. You know, that's another book I probably should need to get if I want to follow the story. I'm just like, come on. Just got ridiculous. Got out of hand. I remember once I was bragging to some chick about my comic book collection, and her and her friend were just laughing. They were like, you loser. And these chicks, there's like, I think she ended up becoming my girlfriend, or maybe she already had been. I don't know. This was obviously long before the Big Bang Theory, when it's cool to be a nerd. We're all geeks. Geek culture. So cool, you know. No. Being into comics in high school, I mean, I wasn't into them that far into high school, but I mean, to a certain point, it was not seen as like, you're the cool kid. Definitely not. Cranberry says, yeah, the story had two visions of where they wanted it to go. Spider-Man Identity Crisis was better, says Cranberry. In my opinion, says Rocky, McFarlane set the bar way too high for anyone else to follow. That's an interesting take. Yeah, you wouldn't want to have come right after him, because he really did. He wasn't just another Spider-Man artist. He changed the way they drew the character and how he moved and how he was on the page and his costume and everything. It all changed. I love hearing those stories about how they were like, make the eyes back to normal, so we'd make them bigger. And they were selling so many, they couldn't say no. They're like, what are they going to do? No, force him. Yeah, but everyone loves it. I guess. Santa Steve Smoke. We can say cock. We say cock all the time on this channel. I just like, oh, it's spelled C-O-C-K. Oh, that's rude if it's C-O-C. Santa Cockmaster says, I stuck with it, Vancouver. It was hard to keep up. Better man than I. After I stopped collecting, I didn't really read them for a while. And then I started collecting back issues. A lot, mostly Spider-Man. I got all the Web run. I got most of the Peter Parker Spectacular run. I got a lot of really old, cool, amazing books. And then I also just started collecting random other just cool old comics, like Strange Tales and stuff like that. That were really cool. I just thought that aesthetic that I hadn't seen, you know, when I was collecting. the older stuff, the 80s stuff, the even older 70s, 60s. And I just sort of became more interested in the actual art of it all and the style. When I wanted to read comics again, actually, because I was so out of it for so long, I didn't know what was happening. I didn't even go back to Marvel. I went back to Star Wars comics because I was like, oh well, you can just jump in at any Star Wars comic, even if it because I read a lot of the extended universe novels, so even if it's like a Thrawn book or whatever, so I feel like I kind of know something, and they were fun, they were good, but it was very sparse. And fast forward years later, get into bloody French books, and there you go, and that's it. That's the whole deal. Oh, that's that guy's foot. Cranberry says the amazing fantasy books from the 90s and early 2000s were good. I even know they made them. See how little I know? You guys listen to me, and then you realize, wow, this guy knows nothing. But I'm trying to learn. I'm taking active steps to learn more about all this stuff that I missed out on. Dark Empire stuff was good. Yep. Contrast that lot with the garbage Star Wars content. I don't even want to think about it. I have pretty much excised Star Wars from my life at this point. I still, I've got my Lego and whatever, but I'm done. It's amazing. I didn't know that this could happen, that they could actually take your interest in the original stuff, and that's what they've done. I don't know how they did it, but they somehow managed. I don't have any interest anymore, and I used to watch a ton of Star Wars lore stuff, extended universe lore, movie lore, all that sort of stuff. I've lost all interest in it. Now I watch Lord of the Rings lore, which is great. Oh, Amazing Fantasy 1618 with 3-issue limited series taking place between 15 and Amazing Spider-Man 1. I would actually definitely read that. That sounds cool. I'll go check them out. I didn't know they did that. Yeah, I've got Amazing Fantasy. It was when I came second in a poker tournament, and I got it. I opened it. I put on my cotton gloves. I opened it and I read it, and then I sealed it up and haven't opened it since. Just tightly away. And I've always dreamt about getting Spider-Man #1. And it's not outside the realm of possibility, but at the moment it definitely is. It's like that ain't happening currently. But that sounds cool. Indie Geek just dropped a good video on why the men couldn't go to Valinor. I saw the thumbnail. I haven't watched it yet. I feel like I know why, but I still like listening anyway. That's a good channel. I'm going to do lore. Eventually, once I've read enough stuff, I want to start doing lore videos like that. I don't think they'll be as polished as his. He's like does actual scripts, and you can tell he does a lot of research and everything, because I think that's what he does. That's his thing. I'm a comic book guy. I can't be spending forever making really polished lore videos, but it would still be cool. You know, that sort of stuff, that sort of topic, you know, what is the, and then, you know, or asking a question like that. I disagree with his Gandalf the White take. What is his take? I can't remember it. But you know, I tried the Silmarillion 2 or 3 times, and it just wasn't happening at all. It's like, I'm not sticking with this. It wasn't going in. You know, I'd read it, and I'm like, I've been reading for 6 pages now, and I don't remember anything I read. You know, so I just have to stop. But I'll listen to the videos about what's in it, and I love that. It's funny. How are we going for time here? I'm gonna go up till the gutter. I'm gonna adhere to Phil's because he was so generous to give me a raid. I'm gonna go up to when they start the gutter and do a little raid there. So it looks about 10 minutes or so. See how much I can get done. That he wasn't so much different a person from Gandalf the Grey, but he was counting his valor from as him. And since he was virtually unchanged as a Valar, he wasn't a new person. I mean, I don't really know. I know that he forgot temporarily that he was called Gandalf. But I view Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White as different expressions of different versions. Yeah, well, you imagine. I mean, my take on it, you know, just as someone who's, you know, read the books and watched the movies and stuff, is that he died. Gandalf the Grey dies, but his spirit, what is it, Aloran, or what he was called, as a Maya, lived on, and I don't know, was back in wherever it was. That was awakened in what is it, Valinor? Yeah, he died, but then he got sent back. Well, his mortal form died, and then he got sent back. Yeah, I knew what you were saying. And as Gandalf the White, and he retains memories, but he is so. But it's a little bit. I don't know. I can imagine Tolkien being like, I don't worry about it that much. You know, he's back. He's got like what is consciousness? What is it like? It's all really kind of up in the air. But I actually have something similar-ish in the Lucent, where you're like, how much is he the same person? And it's going to be interesting to sort of, you know, work with that, because it actually does matter, especially to people, especially if, you know, you've done a lot of things in your past and then you kind of come back. How much of that are you responsible for? Yeah, when you're dealing with these sort of fantastical stuff, these are the things you have to worry about, I suppose. He retained some, forgotten more, and remembered more from his previous iterations. Sven says he's the same dude, but confused. Well, he is old. And Maromi says time moved differently for him. That I love that idea, and I'm 100% definitely including that in my story. So in the Lucent, everyone who's older, time is very different for them. In the same sense that time is different for us from between, from since when we're a child to when we're older. It appears to move faster the older you get. It's the same. That just continues on in the Lucent. It keeps going. Cranberry says, I view Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White as expressions or avatars. Suits he wore like a skin. Yeah, they're not old guys. Like, they're not old men. That's just how they are on Middle Earth. And the way I came to understand is like they were chosen to be old men for a reason. Rocky says, this is deep. I thought Gandalf just washed his clothes. Imagine that was it. Imagine, somehow you can go back in time and talk to Tolkien and say, so, tell me, who was Gandalf the White? It's like, oh, it's the same guy, but, you just have really good laundry service in Valinor that they didn't have on Middle Earth. They really had advanced bleach technology. Oh, okay. I mean, he was very adamant that, all these things that he did was not meant to be, like, for instance, you weren't meant to learn Elvish so you could have conversations with your friends in Elvish. It's like that. He said, like, that's not why I did it. It's like, all right. All right. Someone should learn some, what is Rainey's language? Nanasa? I can't remember. Just learn something from it and start talking to her in it. She'd freak out. I bet she would love it. Or Klingon. Yeah, my introduction to Star Trek was through a friend at high school who he was a super genius. I mean, he got a perfect score in high school. In year 9 or 10, he was already pretty much fluent in German just by learning German in German class. I mean, who ever does that? No one ever. And he ended up doing a double degree, astrophysics and astronomy, I think, became a professor. But he was really good at Klingon. And he could rattle off Klingon. He loved Star Trek. And yeah, he got me into it in the first place. Cranberry says, I still feel less or lacking in geek cred because of my inability to speak Klingon. Kapla! That's what I know. It is a good day to die in Klingon. I don't remember that one. Sorry. JDA actually, he did a tweet the other day about how what's his name, Michael Dorn, Matthew, I think it's Michael. I don't know. Anyway, the actor who played Worf is his birthday, and I was thinking about, he's just asking about the character and everything. It's like, what are your favorite scenes, favorite moments, and everything. And Worf was, because we've been watching Next Generation, recently again. Worf is hilarious. Most of the comedy in that show comes from Data and Worf, but mostly Worf. And they play off his, Klingon gruff, no nonsense thing to a T, and the writers eventually really nail it, and he's great with it. And it's great. Like, he's the funny character in that show. Despite being this sort of because he doesn't have a sense of humor. It's really good. But my favorite scene of him was in yes, exactly, Ronan. I am not a merry man. No, my favorite scene is in the movie First Contact, where he stands up to Picard, and Picard calls him a coward. He says, "If you were any other man, I would kill you where you stand." I love that line. He's great in DS9. I got to watch that one next again. That's the one I've watched the least. I've only watched most of it once. So I'm now on my second or third viewing of Next Generation. I watched Voyager, I think, twice. I've only watched DS9 once, and a very long time ago. I know a lot of people love it. It was never my favorite, but things change. I know a lot of people love it. Get off my ship. Yes. The episode of Frasier where Noel teaches him Klingon instead of Hebrew for a speech. I have not seen that one. That sounds good. Frasier was a Cheers spin-off, wasn't it? He was the same character in Cheers as in Frasier. I think that's right. Nomad Damon watched episode 2 and 3 of DS9 this week, loving watching it again. You can really notice, like, wow, how good some of these old shows are, with very, like, they weren't very sophisticated, in terms of compared to what they can do today. But a lot of these so-called sophisticated shows today are actually kind of rubbish. But they made it work back then. Nomad says, Frasier and Seinfeld are my favorite. Seinfeld is so good. It really is special. I was watching it with Camel in Florida last year. I haven't watched it in ages. God, it's so good. Almost every episode is a classic. Kramer says, I haven't even read all the Silmarillion. I don't know people who can. There's a meme going around. People trying to read the Silmarillion, and that's Gandalf saying, there are a few who can. All right, I guess I better set up the Raider Rooney. Let's go find it because I think they're about to start. Or maybe they have started. Haven't started yet. The Gutter. Oh no, it's starting in an hour. Yeah. I will forget about it then. What else is streaming? Oh, they're doing a launch party over on Katie Dids. You want to go check that out. All right, everybody. I think I'm going to end. Pretty good flats. Well, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I try. Flats are flats are flats. You know, there's not much you do there, but we did something. We started with this. Oh, that looks good. That will be for sale. On the will be for sale when the campaign goes live. Sumo says 1 more hour. I don't have it in me. It's getting hot in here, Sumo, and I need to go. I think to go. Take a break. Essentially, I'm not the man I used to be. All these people out there doing friggin' 5-hour streams. Not my thing. But enjoy. Have a great rest of the night. I'll be back tomorrow doing the Rising Tide. I'll be chatting about all the comics I've read this week. So if you want to come back and hang out then, 9 p.m. Eastern. I think it'll be 9 p.m. You're more than welcome. Until then, have a great night, and I will see you later. Bye.
Perth made an Australian video, and I wasn't even in it.
Emotional damage.
Oh,